Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to the third episode of Let's Lead. Today we'll be talking about a very classical problem which has been asked in multiple coding interviews along multiple organizations, and that is the palindrome number. So first of all, what is a palindrome? Palindrome number, as we say, or a palindrome is nothing but a set of characters or a string which is same either if it is viewed from top to bottom or bottom to top. What I mean by that is, let's say if I say a number 1 to 1, is it a palindrome or not? Yes, it is, because if I reverse this number, it is still 1 to 1. So if after reversing and before reversing the numbers or the word or the set of characters are same, it is a palindrome. Now there are multiple approaches to solve this. One, the very first approach to any Python user or any programming language user, the very first approach which comes up to mind is, what we can do is, let's say if I have a palindrome number 1 to 1, I can convert it to string, then I can reverse the string, and then I can compare it with before and after, and if it is the same, it is a palindrome. But what if the interviewer comes up with an innovative thinking and he or she asks that you cannot convert the number to the string? Then what can we do? Then the approach we will take is, what we can do is, we can take the number, okay, and we can convert the number or the integers of the number into into a list. Then from the midpoint, what we can do is, we can start comparing the first number and the last number. If they are same, it is a palindrome. Let's say if it is, let's take a bigger number, 1,221, and then it comes out to be 1, 2, 2, 2 and 1. What we can do is, we can take the mid number, and what we can do, we can from starting from this mid number, we can go to the extreme left and to the extreme right and start comparing one by one until we reach the mid. Once before we reach the mid, what we can do, if all the elements are same of the list, one by one, to and fro from the start and the end, it is a palindrome. So this is how we can do it. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about its implementation. So talking about the implementation, we can have a method, let's say is palindrome, okay, which takes up a value, an integer value basically, and the first of all we can check if x is less than 0, then return false, okay, and then what we can do, we can initialize a list, an empty list basically, and then we can run a while loop. In this while loop, what we'll do, we'll break the integer into the whole integer into individual characters, okay. So that can be done by repeatedly dividing the number by 10 and storing the quotient until the number becomes less than 10. So what we can do, less dot append x percentile 10, and then the next number would be equals to 10. So what basically we are doing here is, we are dividing the number by 10. Let's say it's 121 divided by 10. It would give me a quotient of 12 and a remainder of 1, and that would be the first element of my list, and then I can make x equal to the previous the current quotient, that is 12. In this way, we are deducting one by one digit from or detecting, I would say, breaking one digit at a time from that whole integer and storing it, the broken digit, into the list. After this, what we can do, we can simply do lis the append x. Okay, and after this, what we can do, for I in range, we'll run a loop till half of the length of the list which we have created. Math.ceil. This ceil function is used to give the ceil value, len of list divided by 2. Okay, we are taking the ceil value of the length of the list, half of the length of the list. And if what we'll do, as we discussed in the video, what we'll do, we'll check from the front, we'll pick one number from the front and we'll pick one number from the end, and then we'll compare it one by one. Okay, and if it is till we reach at the mid, if all the numbers are same, it is a palindrome. Okay, so if list of I is not equals to list of length of list. So basically, we are picking an index I and the reverse value or the opposite value of that index I, minus 1. Return false. As soon as it will encounter any number which is not equal in terms of its first index and the opposite last index or the ending index, it will return false. If no false is returned, return true. Okay, so this is the whole implementation. I'll run it and I can check is palindrome. Okay, and I pass, let's say, 1 to 1. Okay, I run it. Okay, math is not defined. What I'll do, import math. Okay, if I run, it's true now. Let's say 1. If I make 1 2 2, if I make it 1 2 3 1, it will return false. So this is one implementation. As I said, there could be multiple ways to implement a particular problem. It's up to you how to approach it. This particular problem, as I discussed earlier, we could have converted into a string and then reversed the string and then compared the two. But if a question arises that we cannot reverse or we cannot convert the integer to a string, this is the way to do it. Thank you so much, and I'll be back with another episode.